Ladies and gentlemen, there will be moments in your life when you feel like the wind has been knocked out of you, when you've been blindsided by life, betrayed, rejected, overlooked, underestimated. You gave it your all and you still fell. You dreamed big, but you crashed harder. And in that moment, lying flat on your back, it's easy to want to stay down. It's easy to let shame wrap around you like a blanket. But let me tell you something, don't be afraid. Pick yourself up. You were not designed to live your life crawling. You were not born to stay down. You were born to rise. You've got power in your bones, resilience in your blood, and a fire in your spirit that life's trials cannot extinguish. Yes, you've fallen, but you are not finished. That was a chapter, not the whole book. The fall doesn't define you, the rise does. Let's talk truth. Fear is a liar. Fear will tell you you're not good enough. It'll whisper, you failed once, you'll fail again. It'll scream, stay down, don't embarrass yourself. But fear only wins if you listen. Fear only grows if you feed it. But when you rise, when you stand up with trembling legs and say, I'm not done yet, you silence fear. You starve it, you take back control. You see, life doesn't give you strength, it reveals it. And the only way to see how strong you really are is to go through some things that test your character, stretch your faith, and demand your growth. You don't build muscle by sitting still, you build it by pushing through resistance. The same is true of your life. So when life pushes you down, push back harder. When the world says you can't, you say, watch me. I want you to understand something deep. Falling is part of the journey. Everybody falls, winners fall, legends fall, giants fall, but what separates them from the rest is that they get back up. They shake the dust off, they wipe their tears, and they keep going. Not because it's easy, but because their dream matters more than their pride. Their purpose is greater than their pain. They know that nothing great was ever achieved without moments of doubt, without seasons of struggle, without battles behind the scenes. So I challenge you today, pick yourself up. Dust off the guilt, let go of the shame, forget what didn't work out. This is a new moment, and in this moment you have a choice. Stay down or stand up. Choose to stand, choose to fight, choose to grow. Because what's ahead of you is far greater than what's behind you. Don't wait for someone to rescue you, rescue yourself. Don't expect someone to give you permission to rise, give it to yourself. You don't need approval to live a great life. You don't need perfect circumstances. All you need is the decision to rise. People are watching you not to see if you fall, but to see if you get up. Your children are watching. Your future self is watching. And someone out there, someone who's been through their own storm, is going to be inspired by the fact that you refuse to quit. So no matter how dark it's been, no matter how many times you've stumbled, I want you to remember this. The comeback is always stronger than the setback. You've got more in you. You've got a story to finish. You've got mountains to move, and it all starts with one decision: get back up. Don't be afraid, pick yourself up and keep moving forward. Your destiny is waiting for you to rise. You don't grow stronger by standing still. You grow stronger by going through something that challenges you, stretches you, tests you, and makes you question whether you're even capable of surviving it. But let me tell you something. Just because you fail doesn't mean you're a failure. Failure is not the end. It's not your final destination. It's simply feedback. It's a teacher. It's life's way of revealing the gaps between where you are and where you want to go. Some people fall once and never get up again. Not because they're not capable, but because they believed the lie that one fall defines their worth. But I need you to understand your fall is not your identity. It's just part of your story, and every great story has a plot twist. Every powerful story has a setback that sets the stage for a comeback. Failure isn't the enemy. It's the companion of every person who's ever done something great. Every innovator, every leader, every world changer has faced it. The only difference between them and the ones who gave up is they used failure as fuel. They turned their wounds into wisdom. They didn't stop. They didn't let embarrassment stop them, or rejection stop them, or the sting of falling flat in front of others stop them. They kept getting up, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference maker. See, you can't experience real growth unless you're willing to fail forward. You can't level up until you're willing to fall down and learn something from it. Every time you fail, life is giving you a clue. It's pointing out something in you that's not yet fully developed, a mindset that still needs sharpening, a skill that needs polishing, a belief system that needs upgrading. And if you're humble enough to listen, failure will teach you more than success ever could. There's something powerful that happens when you shift your perspective on failure. Instead of running from it, you embrace it. Instead of hiding it, you study it. Instead of feeling ashamed, you feel empowered because now you know what doesn't work. And when you know what doesn't work, you get one step closer to what does. But you've got to be willing to go through the fire. You've got to be willing to look at your failure in the face and say, "You're not bigger than my dream." You've got to declare, "This may have knocked me down, but it will not knock me out." Because that's what champions do. That's what warriors do. They don't stay in the valley. They climb even when it's hard. Even when they're tired, even when they're unsure, they keep rising. I know some of you are in a tough place right now. You tried something and it didn't work out. You started a business and it failed. You gave your heart to someone and they broke it. You stepped out in faith and you fell flat on your face, and now you're afraid to try again. You're carrying the weight of that failure like a badge of shame. But let me speak life into you right now. Don't you dare give up. Don't you let that failure rob you of your future. There's greatness in you. There's power in you. And if you're still breathing, that means you've still got a chance to turn it around. Use that failure as fuel. Let it push you, not paralyze you. Let it make you wiser, stronger, more focused, more relentless. The road to success is paved with broken dreams, missed shots, painful lessons, and moments of doubt. But it's also paved with perseverance, courage, and a refusal to stay down. So I challenge you, rise again, go back to the drawing board, refocus, rebuild, reignite your vision, because failure is not the end, my friend. It's the beginning of something extraordinary. If you dare to keep going, fear is a liar. It's a thief. It robs you of your peace, your dreams, your future. And the worst part, most of the time, it's not even real. It's a story your mind tells you based on something that hasn't even happened yet. You're afraid of rejection, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of failing, afraid of judgment, and in the end, you're paralyzed. Not because of your circumstances, but because of what you believe about them. Let me ask you something. How many times have you talked yourself out of greatness because you let fear lead the conversation? How many opportunities have you missed not because you weren't qualified, but because you doubted yourself before even trying? That job you didn't apply for, that business you didn't start, that stage you didn't step on, that relationship you didn't fight for, all because you were scared. You let fear keep you in a cage with the door wide open. Fear shows up in many forms. Sometimes it whispers, "What if you fail?" Sometimes it screams, "What will people say?" But here's the truth. You don't owe fear a single explanation. You owe yourself a chance to see what you're made of, a chance to find out who you become when you stop shrinking and start standing. Because growth does not happen in your comfort zone. Greatness doesn't live there. Purpose doesn't live there. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. See, fear is not the enemy. Fear is the signal that you're getting close to something important. It shows up when you're about to break the mold, when you're about to step into new territory, when you're about to rise. And if you can learn to push through it, if you can feel it and still move forward, you'll discover that fear has no power unless you give it permission. The people who do great things in life, they feel fear too, but they've trained themselves to act anyway. They've made a decision that fear will not be their master. They may be scared, but they show up. They may be nervous, but they speak up. They may be unsure, but they keep walking. Why? Because they understand something that most people never figure out. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting in spite of it. Your dream is too important to let fear steal it. Your purpose is too great to let fear mute it. You've been playing small for too long. You've let fear dictate your decisions. But now it's time to flip the script. It's time to stop bowing down to fear and start rising up in faith, because you were not built to live afraid. You were built to lead, to create, to speak, to shine, and the world is waiting for you to show up. Let me remind you of something. You're still here. After everything you've been through, you're still standing. That means you're stronger than you think. That means fear has lied to you. You've overcome more than fear wants you to remember. So don't back down now. You've come too far. It's time to change your relationship with fear. Stop seeing it as a wall and start seeing it as a doorway. A doorway to your next level. A doorway to your calling. A doorway to the person you were born to become. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's risky. Yes, it's going to stretch you. But that's the point. You grow through the stretch. You find yourself in the fire. You unlock your potential when you stop running from fear and start running toward freedom. The future doesn't belong to the timid. It belongs to the bold. So today, I dare you do it scared. Speak scared. Launch scared, love scared, move scared. But whatever you do, don't let fear stop you from living the life you are meant to live. Because the only thing worse than failing is wondering what could have happened if you had just tried. You will fall, you will stumble, you will make mistakes. That's a part of the process. That's the price of growth. But hear me when I tell you falling down is not the end. It's not your final chapter. It's a comma, not a period. The problem is not that we fall, it's that we forget our power to rise. You've got something inside of you that's greater than any failure, greater than any setback, greater than any moment of weakness, and that's the will to get back up. See, life doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for persistence. It doesn't ask, did you fall? It asks, did you get back up? Every champion, every trailblazer, every person who's done something meaningful, they all have this in common. They kept getting back up. You've got to pick yourself up when life knocks you down, when people turn their backs, when plans fall apart. You've got to make a decision that no matter what happens, you're not staying on the ground. Because when you stay down, when you let your pain define you, when you start believing that your mistake is who you are, that's when you lose. That's when life gets smaller. That's when your vision starts to shrink. But when you rise, even with bruises, even with tears, even with fear, that's when your power shows up. That's when you start becoming unstoppable. That's when life begins to respond to you differently. You've got to make peace with failure. You've got to embrace the fall because it's where your greatest lessons live. It's where character is built. You don't grow in the spotlight, you grow in the shadows. You don't gain strength when everything is going right. You gain strength when everything is going wrong, and you still choose to believe in yourself. Let me say this, failure is not your identity, it's an event. It's not who you are, it's something you experienced. But some of you've allowed your failures to chain you down. You've let guilt, shame, and regret set up camp in your heart. And I'm telling you today, it's time to forgive yourself. You can't drive forward looking in the rearview mirror. You've got to let it go so you can grow. You've got to pick yourself up because your future is too big for you to stay stuck in your past. And don't wait for somebody else to rescue you. Don't wait for applause. Don't wait for the perfect timing. Rescue yourself. Encourage yourself. Speak life over yourself. You've got to be your own cheerleader when no one else is clapping, because sometimes people won't see your comeback coming. Sometimes people will write you off too soon, but that's okay. Let your rise be your response. Let your growth be your revenge. You are not what you've been through. You are not your lowest moment. You are not your worst mistake. You are a fighter, you are a survivor, you are a comeback story in motion, but you've got to believe it. You've got to declare it. You've got to walk in it even when you're still healing. Look, the world needs your story. Somebody out there is waiting to see how you rise. Somebody out there is drawing strength from your courage. When you pick yourself up, you're not just doing it for you, you're doing it for the people who will one day say, "Because they didn't give up, I didn't give up." That's how powerful you are, so I want you to rise today. I want you to wipe the tears, square your shoulders, and say to yourself, "This will not break me, this will build me." I want you to remember who you are. Remember what you've already survived. You are still here, and that means you still have purpose. You still have breath. You still have time. So don't waste it doubting yourself. Stand up. Speak up. Show up and never ever give up, because no matter how many times life knocks you down, as long as you keep rising, you are never defeated. When the pain hits, it doesn't send a warning. Life doesn't give you a heads up before the storm comes. It doesn't send a polite email saying, "Get ready, hardship is on the way." No, it shows up unannounced. It kicks the door down and throws everything into chaos. And in that moment, you have two choices: breakdown or breakthrough. And I'm here to tell you, breaking through is still an option. You see, when everything in your life is crumbling, when the job is gone, when the relationship ends, when the dream gets delayed, when the health report comes back and it shakes your whole world, that is when you find out who you really are. That's not the moment you give up. That's the moment you look within. That's the moment you tap into something deeper than motivation. Because motivation gets tired. But conviction will carry you. There's a strength in you that adversity is trying to awaken. There's a power in you that pain is trying to introduce you to. And sometimes it takes the breakdown to reveal the breakthrough. Sometimes you've got to lose the plan to find your purpose. Sometimes what felt like destruction was really construction in disguise. It was life clearing the way for something greater, but I know it's hard. I know it hurts. I know there are moments where it feels like it would be easier to just quit. And some of you right now, you've got smiles on your faces but silent battles in your soul. You're functioning while frustrated. You're walking while wounded. You're showing up while struggling, and I want to honor that. Because that is strength. That is courage. That is what it means to keep moving forward when everything inside you says stop. But you've got to remember something: storms don't last forever. Night always makes room for morning. And your breakdown is not your burial. It's a turning point, and you don't have to have it all together. You just have to keep showing up. You just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Even if you're limping, even if you're crying, even if you're scared, keep moving. There were times in my life when I wanted to throw in the towel, times when the weight felt too heavy, but every single time I was reminded it's always too soon to quit. It's always too early to give up on yourself, because you have something that the world needs. You have gifts, you have power, you have light, and that light can't be dimmed by disappointment. That light can't be destroyed by delay. That light, your light, was made for the dark. So even when you feel broken, you are not done. Even when you feel empty, there is more in you, and sometimes you've got to rebuild with tears in your eyes. You've got to stand again even if your knees are shaking, because staying down is not your destiny. You are made to rise. Listen to me. It's in the breakdowns that breakthroughs are born. It's in the moments where you think you can't go any further that you find out you can. And if you feel like you're in a dark chapter, remember, that's not the end of your story. That's just a page. Turn the page. Keep writing. Keep believing. Keep becoming. The version of you that's coming on the other side of this pain, oh, they're stronger. They're wiser. They're bolder. But you've got to push through this season to meet them. You've got to endure what you don't understand to arrive at what you were made for. So don't you dare stay down. Don't you dare give up. Stand in your storm, roar in your rain, believe in your bounce back, because life may knock you down, but it can't keep you there. Not unless you let it. And I know you. You're not someone who quits. You're someone who climbs, who fights, who rises. So rise. Fear is the prison and the most dangerous part. It's invisible. You can't touch it. You can't see it. But you sure can feel it. It wraps around your dreams, strangles your confidence, and whispers lies into your soul. Fear tells you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. But let me tell you something right now. Fear is a liar. It only has the power you give it. It only grows when you feed it. And if you want to rise, if you want to become all that you were born to be, you've got to stop feeding your fears and start feeding your faith. You were not made to shrink. You were not made to play small. You were not made to live inside the box that fear built for you. That's not your home. That's not your truth. Your truth is greatness. Your truth is resilience. Your truth is a fire inside that fear can't put out, unless you let it. And I know some of you have been letting fear ride shotgun in your life. Some of you have been letting it drive. But today is the day you take the keys back. Today is the day you say enough. Because fear will always be there. Don't let anybody fool you. The people you look up to, the ones doing great things, they're not fearless. They're courageous. They feel the fear and they move anyway. That's what courage is. Not the absence of fear, but action in the presence of it. So, I don't want you waiting around for the fear to disappear. I want you to get moving. I want you to walk toward what scares you. I want you to stare that thing in the face and say, "You will not stop me. You will not control me. You will not own me." Some of you are sitting on ideas that could change the world, sitting on dreams that could transform lives, sitting on gifts that could bless generations. And the only thing stopping you is fear, the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being enough. But let me ask you something. What's more painful, trying and failing, or never trying and always wondering? You were not born with fear. Fear was taught to you. It was conditioned into you. Through rejection, through setbacks, through watching others settle, you learned to doubt yourself. You learned to play it safe. But that's not who you are. That's not who you were created to be. You were created to stretch, to push, to explore the edges of your potential. And to do that, you've got to stop negotiating with fear and start confronting it. There's a story being written with your name on it, but it can't be written from the sideline. It can't be written from your comfort zone. It can't be written while you're sitting in the corner waiting for the fear to fade. You've got to get in the arena. You've got to show up messy, scared, uncertain, but present. Because life doesn't reward perfection. It rewards participation. It rewards persistence. It rewards the one who dares to act in spite of the fear. I want you to look at your fear like a test, because that's exactly what it is. Every time you confront fear, you level up. Every time you refuse to back down, you grow stronger, and fear is a master illusionist. It looks bigger in your mind than it is in reality, but you won't know that until you walk through it. You won't know that until you take the step. You won't know that until you say, "I'm doing this scared, but I'm doing it anyway." And when you do, when you do, something shifts, your confidence expands. Your vision clears, your soul comes alive, because every act of courage, every moment of defiance against fear brings you one step closer to the life that's waiting for you, a life full of impact, a life full of meaning, a life full of power. But you've got to take your power back. You've got to silence the voice that says, "What if you fail?" and turn up the one that says, "What if you fly?" Don't let fear be the author of your story. Don't let it write your ending. Rip that pen out of its hand and write your own. Write it with bravery, write it with intention, write it with passion, and remember this: you don't have to be fearless to be free. You just have to decide that your purpose is bigger than your fear, and when you do, nothing, not fear, not failure, not doubt, can hold you back.